Live and Michigan's Best, and we are continuing our series, Crafted in Michigan, brought to you by Founders Brewing Company, with someone who is not just a good friend, but an incredible artisan who works in one of my favorite mediums, chocolate. Welcome to Charles Smitty Golcyzynsk of Mokaya Chocolates in Grand Rapids. Smitty, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
I always love chatting with you because you and I have known each other now for a really long time. You're a fellow chef, but you've transformed your focus from doing things like catering and savory foods into an awesome chocolate shop located in Grand Rapids. How did this transformation take place? Because going from food to something as intricate, specific, temperamental as chocolate is like a whole nother ball of wax. So tell me a little bit about your journey as to how you got here.
Well, after having the catering business for a number of years, it started running itself. And I had a customer ask from New York. They were having a party at the Meyer Gardens, and she asked me to do a jewel shop made with chocolates. And at that point, that's been 25 years ago, no one had ever done this type of chocolate before, this artistry that we're seeing lately in the last 15 years. And I took it upon myself to learn from a wonderful chocolatier, Luis Amato, and he showed me how to do it, and it just went over great. I fell in love with it at that point. And my business is running, and I didn't have to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen. So I built a little chocolate room downstairs, and that 10 by 10 room turned into a 20 by 20, and then a 30 by 30. And I was doing chocolates for our business and kind of hanging out down there, telling people I worked, but I really didn't. So worked with a lot of people around the country developing it. And so I spent that amount of time for 20 years kind of doing chocolates off and on, and then kind of learning the craft as much as I could, having the other part of the job. And then when I say retired, I sold the business and retired. I asked my son if he'd come along with me and start a chocolate store. So that's kind of how it started. And we just took the chance that Grand Rapids would support something like this. We started off to be a little bit more expensive than a normal chocolate store. Not that, it's any better flavor or tasting than any other chocolate store, but it is expensive the way we do things. And it went really well. We're so happy to be here. We're so happy to be on Wealthy Street. We're so happy to join this area in the upcoming, rise of businesses that have taken place over the last 10 years here, or I should say more like 20. And so, it's been going quite well, and I'm quite pleased with all of it.
Well, Mokaya is located on Wealthy Street, the Wealthy Street neighborhood in Grand Rapids. For those who are unfamiliar, it is kind of an up-and-coming neighborhood that has had an explosion of businesses, it seems like, in the last few years, and it's really become a very popular corridor for people. So you guys fit kind of right in. For those who haven't been to Mokaya, walk us through what your chocolate shop is like, because I want to say to people, don't be put off by Smitty saying that it's expensive. There's a reason why these chocolates are the way that they are, Smitty. Come on.
Well, the only thing when I say that, we were wondering about the demographics, here in Grand Rapids, and we were actually going to start this in Chicago. We had intentions going on Chicago. Then my son said, no, I think my son and daughter talked me into it. We should really try this in Grand Rapids, and I'm so happy we stayed. I really am. Some of the things that we do, and the reason I say this, when you start the artistry of these chocolates that we do, we hand paint them individually.
I was saying, this is a chocolate you're showing us. I mean, in case people are wondering, this is not like a box. This is an actual piece of chocolate.
This is a bonbon, and we have other bonbons that are actually hand painted. So that part of it, plus the chocolate that we use a really high grade of chocolate. We design our own transfer sheets, which means we design all of the stuff. This is a cookie that we have, and all of that design there is done by us. We make our own transfer sheets that adhere to the chocolate. So it's a long explanation on what a transfer sheet is, but we also have a series coming up this summer where we're having artists come in and do transfer sheets for us.
No way.
Really special, because they'll like, here's our brownie, we thought about this, and what makes it special, not only the brownie, because the brownie is a smoked chocolate, malted, salted caramel fudge brownie. That's a lot going on there. And, but then to put the design on it, kind of ups the game. So we have a lot of fun doing that. You know, we have things like, you know, this is a chocolate. It looks like a fried egg, of course, but you know, it's a chocolate. It's white chocolate with lemon curd. So, you know, interesting things that we think of down the line. We also do a lot of pastries. We do, you know, the cookies, the brownies, oh, tarts. You know, we have a line of tarts. This is our lemon curd tart. I don't know if you can see that well here.
I love how
Um,
pretty it is.
but you know, so and we do. It just has white chocolate. Everything that we do, of course, we'll throw chocolate in it. And during the summer, we do a line of ice cream bars and ice cream sandwiches. So I think we have maybe 72 different products at any given time. We're working on doing caramel sauce and fudge sauces. We have soft serve ice cream during the summer. We do a lot of, you know, bars, candy bars that again are designed, you know, the way that we design things with the cocoa butters. So yeah, products. You know, we do a lot of collaborations with here in Michigan. We have a beer flight and a wine flight. The beer flight is we're using beers from all local breweries to infuse into our truffles and caramels. So that's a big part of it. Collaboration in this area, we love it. That's one of the big. I'm one of the old guys in the industry, and you know, the new shift, which started to me 20, 15 years ago, was collaboration, and the collaboration that the younger generation has brought to the table is amazing. You know, there's so many things that they spur on in me that, you know, I think of different things. So that whole thing, utilizing the different businesses in this area has been a wonderful gift for us at this point.
I love that. I think the spirit of collaboration is something that a lot of Michigan businesses are embracing, which maybe we weren't 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But what are some of the places that you've worked with at Mokaya to create some different flavored profiles from, you know, in collaboration with other businesses?
Well, founders.
Hey!
Our truffles in our beer line, we have Mitten, Elk, Harmony, Founders.
So these are all for your beer infused chocolates.
For the beer infused, yeah. The wine, not so much. The wine we go out of, we just, whatever wine that we can use for this particular. It's really hard with the beer too, because we have to have a beer that's standard that they make all year long.
Mm-hmm.
If you switch back and forth, we have a hard
Mm-hmm.
time, you know, with labeling and everything that we have in our standard boxes. So, you know, I worked with Katie Waltz. She used to be the executive chef at Vivant. She's been a real inspiration. Luis Amato, of course, he is a instructor down in Lake Michigan College in Benton Harbor, and he is now one of the leading chocolatiers in the world. There are people sponsoring him, major companies all over the world. He's one of my best friends and one of my biggest inspirations, my mentor. You know, everyone, you know, Vivant and Paul Lee at, of course, Winchester and Donkey. You know, Donkey, we've had our syrups are used by coffee houses here in Grand Rapids and in other parts of the state. And Donkey has had a drink that was utilizing our syrups. So multitude of people that we have, you know, collaborated with on different flavors and different products that they sell. So that's been a fun part. So yeah,
Now, Smitty, do you when you're coming up with a flavor, like say you're thinking of doing this beer line of chocolates, what is your inspiration? Are you tasting the beer and then saying, hey, this is going to be great in a chocolate? Or is it more, are they coming to you and saying, I think this beer would be great in chocolate? What's your process like?
No, actually, it started off, you know, quite a while ago. My daughter made a joke and one time and said, you should put beer in chocolate. And I kind of thought, that's, you know, well, it's our bestseller. And what we did is when we first started this, we wanted to do that line to infuse. Here in Michigan, you have to have a really low alcohol content. So it's really hard to infuse flavor into truffles like this in prepackaged containers. Because of that, you have to have it tested. It has to be really low alcohol content. So there had to be a way of doing it and getting that flavor in there and still meeting those requirements. So we would actually took all of us, there were 6 of us that went around to the different breweries here in Grand Rapids took all our chocolates, and we had to do it in a few days because after about 3 different breweries, tasting all the flights. But things matched up. I was so amazed on how well you would taste the chocolate and then the beer together, and you knew right away. You knew exactly right away when it paired up and when it didn't work. And it was astounding to imagine that it worked so well. And same with the wines, because even in the caramels the caramels that we do are from Vivant and from Harmony, and they just change the complexity of the caramels so much that it's just bizarre. So if you ate these, you probably think that there wasn't any beer in them, but you know that there's something off, as far as the chocolate flavor.
Something on. It's not off, it's on.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, I agree with you. I feel like it's the infusion. I don't want to put people off in them thinking they're going to take a bite and beer's going to pour out, because it's not like that at all. But it's that thing that makes you go, there's something totally different here. If you were blind tasting it, you might not be able to tell it was a beer, but it's something more complex going on with this chocolate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's like some of our flavors too. We have a few bizarre. We have the standards. We have to have the standards, but we have a couple that are a little. We work. I have a sun-dried tomato jelly with a lemon thyme balsamic vinegar ganache. We also have a oh boy, what's the other one? Oh, we have a jalapeno jam with a rosemary lime ganache. So you wouldn't think that they're wonderful. You have to try them. They're the ones that you probably wouldn't buy right away, but once you did, you'd buy them again and again because they match up so well. And that's basically, I get some of them right away, but believe me, I've had more horrible truffles and bonbons, and the ones that make it out here are the ones that actually have been tested and tried and true stuff. So it's a fun game. It's a fun game to try to pair up and make different flavors work. But you can take those other flavors, that you work on that are kind of typical flavors and just present them a different way. Even the brownie, when I say the smoked chocolate malted salted caramel brownie, that they're all in their own right separately are wonderful things. We started smoking chocolate a while ago. In fact, another collaboration that I do is with Louise Earl Butcher. They smoke my chocolate. So they have a cold smoker, so we smoke the chocolate. And what's really funny is you might think you taste a lot of smoke in the chocolate, but when you bake with it, it just makes it richer. It doesn't really make it smoky. So it really, things are experimental, but yet turn out really wonderful at a certain point, and a lot of it's one of those things where it's a topic that you can discuss with people. And we love talking to customers. That's one of the things that we don't like right now because we don't have anybody coming into the store and, and checking us out when they can see all the products and talk with us. And that's the part that kind of hurts me the most is yakking with customers out front. And hopefully we'll get that back. So we'll be able to do that again.
Absolutely. All of our fingers are crossed for that. But yeah, I think that chocolate's one of those things that everyone can kind of gather around together. And people are really passionate about their views on what is right or wrong with chocolate or what kind they like or all that fun stuff.
The right or wrong, people ask me, what's my favorite chocolate? I've enjoyed Hershey Kisses. Any type of chocolate, any type of bean. There are different qualities and different flavor profiles, but all chocolate is wonderful to me. I can take something that's very, very expensive and very, very rare, and then to pop a Hershey's Kiss in my mouth and bingo, But we try to educate people, we try to tell them what is the difference between our chocolate that we use and the chocolate that they normally eat in a candy bar from a store. So, yeah, that's
share that with us. What is different about your chocolate compared to, say, a regular Hershey bar? Not that there's anything wrong with a Hershey bar.
Oh, no. Well, it's a lot more intense. It's almost like the coffee and beer these days. The craft beers, the intensity of the beers, and the wonderful flavors that they're making. Chocolate's the same, and coffee too. I kind of put all those together. And chocolates too. They're roasting and making chocolate from rare beans and from different places and mixing the different beans. We have, I'll give you an example. A Hershey bar is probably, no one really knows for sure. A milk chocolate bar is about maybe 12 to 14% milk chocolate. And that's on the low end. Wonderful as it may be. Our milk chocolate is 41%. So
Whoa.
you can just see, just by hearing that, understand the flavor profile is going to be totally different. And when you're talking about the rarest beans, some of the rarest beans in the world being mixed with some of the more popular beans, it just makes a chocolate that is extremely intense. So that what we call it in the business is couverture, and the couverture that we use are from wonderful companies around the world, whether it be Falkland out of Switzerland, Valrhona out of France, Tart here in the United States. We use across the board. A lot different depending on the different flavor profile. And we have right now, what's really nice and interesting is we're working with someone down in Honduras that is actually a farmer down there that we've been doing the Zoom thing like this with. He is actually coming up with a bean to bar chocolate for us. And we're gonna maybe by the end of the year have our own formulated chocolate for our own bean to bar.
That's really exciting.
So that'll be fun. That'll be fun. So yeah, so things are always moving, and of course, we took a step back with the virus hitting and everything, but we're trying to move forward as much as we can.
I like it. Well, one thing when people start to get into chocolate, if you really get into these blends and things like that, is it becomes a lot like tasting wine or tasting beer, like the way you do it, the way you describe it. And if you haven't really tried it, I really encourage our readers and listeners out there to get a couple of these specialty bars, maybe from Mokaya, and to do a tasting, to see all the flavor profiles that come out that you're never going to get in a mass market bar. It really is amazing what you can get out of a simple bean, right, Smitty?
Yeah. And the fact that, just like coffee and just like grapes and chocolate, they're, of course, grown with other plants around it and with canopies, and they take on the flavor, different, whether it be tasting like cinnamon or berries or whatever that might be in that different area. And you can taste that, you can hit that flavor profile with these chocolates. So that's another wonderful thing to experience if you're going to have a chocolate like this.
Yeah, something new to try maybe for some people.
Yeah.
Now, Mokaya is not, the building itself is not open for walk-in customers. However, you have devised a way for people to still get your chocolates. Two ways they can get your chocolates. One is a curbside delivery, and one is a special walk-up window, right, Smitty?
Yeah, we do deliveries in the area, and then we have a special window that we've developed. It has a little doorbell on it, and it has a card reader, and people can walk up at any time, and we will open up a little window, and we all wear our masks. We all trying to keep socially active and distancing, and then we can take that order and fill it right away. Or you can call in that day or schedule on our website, which is Mokaya GR. They can order at any time and come and pick it up, and most times it's ready within 5 or 10 minutes. So we've had a lot of ice cream. People will walk up and want ice cream and our ice cream products. So that's been a wonderful addition this time, having that little window. It kind of homey. We have a little plant out there and make it a little homey for everyone, and that's worked out well. And we thank the city of Grand Rapids too, because they've given us no parking signs to put in front of our building, so we can maintain that, and that's been a big part of our business at this point.
That's good to hear that you can still at least provide some of these incredible chocolates to the community. Yeah, so you can order online ahead of time, or call ahead, and then the order will be ready, or you can do the walk-up window. And then you're doing the deliveries, you said, around Grand Rapids?
Yeah, it's I forget the scope of it or the parameters, but you can get that online. It'll tell you if you're eligible for delivery.
I need my fix right now. Bring it to me, Smitty.
Oh, we have a lot of those. So yeah, it's amazing how many deliveries we will have, and and again, thank you, Grand Rapids. It's been wonderful. Our customers, we adore them, and just want to take care of them in any way that we can right now.
I love it. Well, chocolate is a great gift to give, maybe especially right now as we go through these difficult times. It's a little pick-me-up, whether you're giving it to a friend, family, or eating it yourself, right?
Believe me, I've done way too much of that myself.
Smitty, if people want to find out more information about Mokaya, where should they go?
Well, mokayagr.com, and then we're also on Facebook, and then Instagram. We have an Instagram page. So any three of those online. Or give us a call. We'd be happy to answer any questions. Our phone number here is, of course, 616-551-1925. And again, you can call us at any time.
I love it. Well, I'm sure we all will be calling you because we could all use a little more chocolate and sweetness in our life.
Well, I hope so.
Charles Smitty Golcyzynsk from Mokaya in Grand Rapids, thank you so much for joining us.
Amy, always a pleasure.
If you want to get more information about the Crafted in Michigan campaign brought to you by Founders Brewing Company, head to mlive.com.